a little trip with me, and hopefully you can see how the hood, suburbs, and Main Street are all connected. Enough respect, I mean, we network across the globe, cause it's a global market in case you didn't know. And since we all about information flow, let me be the first one to welcome you to Tech Zone with Paul Amadeus Lane. Let's talk tech, cause technology changing the game. It's all good in the hood, it's everywhere. Now let's get to the show, cause we live on air, yeah.
Hello, and welcome to this edition of the Tech Zone. We welcome you who are tuning in domestically, whether live stream, YouTube, ABC News Radio, KMET 1490, and you who are tuning in internationally. We thank you for tuning in and supporting the Tech Zone. It has been my honor and privilege to be your czar of technology. Now, why am I so happy? Got this big old Chester cat grin, right, Sean? Sean's wondering if you know. Sean knows already, because Sean follows me on social media and everything. E3 started yesterday. Now, if you're listening to the show when it airs on Sunday, on Saturday, E3 was started off, a kickoff event by EA Sports, or EA Entertainment, Electronic Arts Entertainment. Yeah, I said it right, Sean? I'll get kicked out of the fanboy club. But I did a little report from there yesterday via social media. So you want to make sure that you are following me on social media. The best way to do that is go to paulamadeouslane.com, and I'll keep you well stocked and well posted. And even after I finish the show today, I'm headed out to Microsoft's press briefing. So you better be watching me. And I want to take this time now to start a campaign. Let's start a campaign. We got to get my man Sean Nickerson to E3 next year. That's what we got to do. So I'm starting right now, Sean. I'm going to get a Facebook page. I'm going to put your picture on there. I'm going to say, help me send Sean Nickerson to E3. So we're going to get that going. So, hey, we've got a lot of things we're going to talk about today on the show. A lot of different subjects we're going to hit. And coming up in the program, we're going to be talking about how things have shifted when it comes to the way that we view television programs. If you think back, we were growing up, some of us remember before it was even subscription TV. And they only had one provider that came out when I was little, and that was On TV. Then it came out with Select. And then it just morphed on to a lot of paid subscription TV. But now things are going a little different. We're going to be joined by a 40-year vet in the digital media business and talk about what these transformations mean and what are the big networks doing to stay relevant during this time. We're also going to be talking about enhancing your online presence. Sometimes we think if we get a website, Facebook page, Twitter, poof, we're going to blow up. Things are going to be fine, right? But no, we may be a little frustrated that we don't have that interaction that we thought we were going to have. Our people were going to see our message. Well, my guest joining me later on in the show, it's going to be in our third segment, is going to be talking about ways that her company is helping to meet that challenge. Well, how are we going to start our first segment of the show? Sean, you got 3 guesses. Hurry up. Ding, 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 ding. E3, yes. As you know, I'm a big gamer. Love gaming consoles. Sean does too. And what I wanted to do was to really talk about the technology that has allowed me to bring live streaming content from E3 and other events that I cover. And I've had this individual on before. I consider her one of my mentors when it comes to streaming content. And what her company is doing out there to help not only myself and others who are in the media to bring great quality content, they also help to educate us too, what can make us really grow in this industry and to make sure we're putting out a great quality product. Without any further delay, let's bring her up. She's back. Yes, she is. My friend, Claudia Barberiero from LiveU. How you been, my friend?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. Before I brought you on, I sang your accolades and talked about just how your technology has helped me to kind of expand my broadcast ability to a different level. I shared with the audience how at CES last year I was doing something on my phone, and you were like, no. See, you notice how it's all grainy? See, with the LiveU, you don't do that. And I tell you, Claudia, I'm a believer now.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you do with it at the upcoming E3 conference.
I am so jazzed about it. So what have you been up to lately?
So a lot of industry trade shows. So we've been actually out on the road trying to educate people, different types of content creators, on tips and tricks of how to have an effective live stream or do live broadcasting. So I recently hosted a panel with a couple of really interesting industry influencers. I had Phoebe Connolly from the Washington Post, who heads up all of their digital live programming. So all the stuff that goes on their website, on Twitter, and on YouTube. Had Mario Armstrong, who just came off, I think, a 6-episode Facebook Live talk show that was produced exclusively for Facebook Live. And we had one of our customers, Troy Witt, who's a production company that does live streams for everyone from red carpet events to I think he did something like 25 commencement ceremonies in California in 1 week alone. And that was just our way of really trying to help educate attendees at these conferences and audiences at home on what you need to think about in producing a live stream, much less to social media. And so there's been a lot of talking I've been doing, a lot of teaching in the last couple months.
And you know what, Claudia, let's talk about not just for social media, but for actually broadcasting. Because we know when Facebook Live first came out, many of us in the industry was like, wow, we can do this. We can have this, have content right away. But then we noticed some of the drawbacks of it, the lagging, the choppy video. And when people were watching that live online, they would just turn away from it because they didn't want to see nothing that wasn't good quality.
Exactly. That is probably the number one issue to contend with, is making sure you have a reliable stream. If your audience members see anything buffering or sputtering, they're gone. The second aspect is once you can solve that reliability factor, is the ability now to concentrate on really interesting and unique content. So once you can jump over that hurdle and know that your stream is going to be reliable, high quality, and look and sound good on the other end where people are watching it, that opens the door now for you to focus on, how do I get really engaging content, whether you're at a conference like E3 and interviewing people, or going through the aisles and trying to show people all the craziness that can happen at something there, between what's going on stage with some of these fantastic events and productions, or going and taking a close-up look at some of the new video games that are being launched. You want to be able to spend time thinking about that, not worrying if your stream has bombed out, not worrying if the audience at home can't see or hear you.
And that's something major, because I know, like myself, not only being a talent on air, but also being a consumer of watching others who are doing it. And that's one thing that really just I guess we say back in the days, burn my bacon, because it's like, I'm like, I lose a train of thought, or when you have that, when it's like, word after word, you're like, what did they say? So, and over at LiveU, what you guys were able to do is truly taking the guesswork out of it. And we know at E3 coming up, we know it's open to the public for the first time. And
exactly.
A lot of my media friends were trying to make peace with Fanboy, because Fanboy don't like us that much, but we love Fanboy, so we're trying to have peace. But one thing I've noticed, that like some of the different press conferences, like a day or a couple of days earlier now, I know EA is kicking off theirs on Saturday, where I'll be able to take the LiveU out for a spin and do a live report from there, and then Microsoft has theirs on Sunday at the Galen Center, and then on Monday, I call it the Super Bowl, because that's when you have PlayStation. And last year they kind of brought the house down when they had the opera there and the woman beatboxing and Hideo Kojima comes out and everything. That was like the Super Bowl. So we're all waiting in anticipation. And this is where I'm glad that your device exists, we would like to share reaction with ones who are watching it online after the fact and ask them in real time, hey, what did you think of that? How did you feel it went off? Instead of waiting 2 or 3 days down the line where people forget certain things about the event.
Yeah. No, and you bring up a good point about it being open to the public and kind of everybody wanting to watch in real time. There's so much being live streamed from E3. You said Super Bowl. I'm going to show my femininity here. I said I was going to call it like the Oscars.
There you go.
In terms of the number of events that are going on simultaneously. I think that's actually why some of these press conferences are being held a day or two earlier to see if they can break out and even get more attention. But if you go on the E3 site, that's going to be almost end-to-end coverage. Most of the exhibitors, like Warner Brothers Games, if you look at their schedule, they're live streaming interviews, what's happening on the show floor, almost every hour on the hour. Twitch has an official channel amongst multiple other E3 channels that they're going to be live streaming content from. They're actually doing the co-streaming again, which allows Twitch users to reshare and stream simultaneously the Twitch feed so that they can share it with their audience members on their channels. So it's almost a plethora of places to go and watch something that you do want to either differentiate your content a little bit, be able to show a different angle of perspective or engage with the audience in real time, just to be something different and unique. But also you've got to figure all these people there are all going to have their cell phones out, tens of thousands of people, all trying to share on their Twitter feed, their Facebook, with people back home, what's happening right there. The congestion alone is going to be astronomical. So being able to have a reliable way to get your feed out in a high quality manner is also super key. So it'll be an interesting for the audience at home deciding what to watch. And you have to believe you're going to go to the streams that are beautiful, clear, giving you some interesting content, and you're going to stick with those broadcasts versus some of the others.
That is so true. And that's why the folks over at LiveU, if you're into streaming content, may not be a member of the media, but maybe this is your hobby on YouTube, I tell you, the LiveU is something you want to add into your repertoire so that you can have that clean video content and the audio content as well, too. And one of the things at E3, too, Claudia, I know you've been following it, too, you're starting to see kind of like the last push of VR. And I've gotten so many invitations to go to various VR booths. And another colleague of mine who writes for in the gaming industry, we were talking about this may be the last hurrah before it kind of tells away. And what I kind of wanted to do was kind of highlight, VR, but also talk to the audience and maybe be able to share some of the concerns that they may have with some of the people that I'm going to run across, so that they can kind of get the pulse on the potential customers when it comes to VR. And what's your take on VR, Claudia?
So it's interesting. I think it's a very interesting growing opportunity for broadcasters, meaning if I'm sharing content from an event, breaking news story, or some type of entertainment aspect, to be able to show, let's say, 360, so let's say that in a two-dimensional way, I think is still interesting for audiences at home. The implications on the gaming side, and when you really truly need VR and the goggles and all of that, I think for our customers, they're still also grappling with how is this part of their broadcasting plan? Is it an augment to it? Is it a gimmick? How does that really fit in? On the gaming side, again, too, it really depends on what will people at home buy? And that's where the proof will be in the pudding to see where the money goes. But on the live broadcasting side, we see a lot of our customers that will do simulcast type feeds. So MTV, from their music, their awards, they had the traditional broadcast that was on television. They also had some different behind the scenes standard camera going to their Facebook Live and their online communities. But then they also had a 360 degree video that people could pan around. And so when Rihanna's on stage, they could go and take a look at the entire auditorium, see the crowd going crazy, kind of really feel like they're part of the event. Is it a necessity? No, but I watched it. I panned around. It is a cool factor in terms of having me invest in actual goggles to have a true VR experience. I may be out of that demographic. I'm not sure, but I don't see that happening anytime soon.
You know, it kind of reminds me of like the 3D TVs.
Yeah.
Remember the glasses and all that. Now you really don't see them around anymore. And I was one of those that had to get me one when it came out. But you know, we really started to see how technology is kind of settling on what consumers really want to use. And you bring up a very good thing about engaging viewers while they're watching something. I'm so glad we're in a technological age where we can do that now. You can get the pulse on if somebody likes Rihanna's dress or somebody likes Paul's bow tie, or you know, there's a lot of things that you can find out. But I really like that interaction and being able to send live, reliable streaming content is definitely so important.
Well, even with your upcoming interviews at E3, how fantastic is it now that someone can respond back in real time to what you're talking about and have you be able to answer that question or ask that question of your guest in real time. It really takes it from being a passive viewing experience to why live video is really becoming the medium of choice these days, is because as an audience participants, I'm participating now. I'm not just watching. And I think that's truly exciting. It really makes for authentic and interesting and unique content versus watching a standard, something on demand that I might tune out to. This is something I can immediately interact with either other audience members or, like I said, even with you as a host to say, hey, I've always wanted to know this, can you find this out for me? Mm-hmm. How cool is that?
Absolutely. It's super cool, especially the time in which we live in, the way technology is. It makes it super, super duper cool. And Claudia, anything else you'd like to articulate out there with E3 coming up and also other events coming up and how ones can see how can one see those who are using LiveU? Is there a particular channel they can go to, or is it up to like the hosts who are using it to make sure they put on hey, make sure you check us out, our streaming platform? Well, what's the best way to do that?
So, it's an interesting question because people often say, well, how do I know if something's been shot with LiveU versus a satellite truck or a LAN connection? I said, well, that's the whole point. You could be watching a program and not know which remote shot is LiveU because it's sending the same broadcast quality as any other medium. So it really is up to our end users who really are fantastic about sharing what they're doing with LiveU. They tend to love the products. They love what it enables. So actually on our Facebook page, liveu.fans, or on our Twitter @LiveU, we're constantly resharing what our customers are sharing with us. We try to reshare if someone's going to go live so you can actually see what our customers are doing. But we usually get great behind the scenes content and photos and happenings from all of our customers, including we'll reshare what you're up to at E3 as well. So I encourage you to follow us on social media because, again, we're the technology behind the stream. So you really wouldn't know, and that's the whole point. We don't need anybody to know. We just want people to be able to enjoy a beautiful, high-quality live stream, and we want our customers to be able to continue to bring that to their audiences. But I do also would say, there's a lot of great educational videos, behind the scenes, tutorials, tips and tricks that we share on gosolo.tv. So feel free to poke around there and don't listen to me. You can listen to actual end users and how they're producing streams and actually growing their business, growing their reach, growing their brand, whatever their agenda is, how they're using live streaming as part of their communications and marketing strategy.
That is amazing. And Claudia, what are you looking forward to the most coming out of E3? Because I know you're a tech woman. You love everything tech. So what are you looking forward to coming out of E3?
Well, there's a couple of things. So I do have two boys, so I have to get caught up on the latest versions of what's coming out for their favorite games. So that's my fun aspect. But I'm actually really excited. I'm actually going to watch how some of the live streams are being shared, specifically on Twitch. You know, Twitch is the gaming channel destination, but they really broadened their horizons, and you've got a lot more people sharing content to different types of audiences. So I'm actually going to be a little glued to their various channels to see what different stuff they bring. Not that I'm don't want to watch all the big news and press conferences. Like I said, I do need to find out what's new and happening with my boys' favorite games. But I'm actually looking to see what the alternative content is that's coming from this. E3 is like CES. You couldn't possibly see everything when you're there. I mean,
Yes.
You've been there, I've been there. It's crazy. So I'm really looking to see how we pick and choose and experience what's happening there. Plus all the fun stuff. I'm sure there'll be lots of fun, crazy costumes. And now that it's open to the public, I'm sure we're going to see some craziness and maybe even some things airing on the side of Comic-Con this year at E3. So it should be lots of fun.
Yes.
But, right from there, I'm going straight on to VidCon. And so it'll be a whole nother aspect of online video content creators and really getting into the business of video creation. So I don't even get a chance to, I think, really enjoy. I'll be going on right to the next thing.
Awesome. Well, you're one of the hardest working women in show business, my dear. So look forward to catching up with you soon. And please let our viewer and listener know about how they can find out more information about LiveU again.
I encourage you to go to gosolo.tv. There's lots of information about the technology behind the scenes, what we're talking about here, how it actually works. But again, the most important thing is really hearing from other people that don't have big budgets, don't have a big production crew, but want their production to look just like the nightly news and how they're using this technology to do that. So listen to them, poke around our site, and learn.
Sounds good. Claudia Barberiero, thank you again for joining me. She is the VP for the Americas of Marketing. Did I get it right?
Correct. Yes.
All right. Sounds good, my dear. Great chatting with you.
Thank you so much, Paul. It was great being here.
Huge shout out and thanks to the lovely Claudia Barberiero from LiveU. I tell you what they have done to instruct me on how to be able to really produce live, credible streaming content on events is priceless. I will ever be indebted to them. And Sean, don't forget, I'm going to start that page and get Sean Nickerson to E3 2018. We're definitely going to do it. Don't forget, follow me on social media. Go to my website, paulamadeouslane.com. If you are watching this show right now, it's right at the top, right above my head. So hopefully we can connect. When we get back, we're going to talk about the way we view content now and what does that mean. We'll be right back after these messages.